Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Spaz Out Podcast, episode 5?
7. What the hell? Wait a minute. Are you for real?
Episode 6. It's episode 6.
Okay.
Wait, are you for real?
Yeah. Yes, we had the first 3 podcasts, then we had the podcast with Faith, then we had the podcast over gun control. This is episode 6. I keep count.
Okay.
Oops.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Spaz Out Podcast, episode 6. I am your fucking host. And right here I have fucking Chris McCauley.
Hi, what's up? That's me.
And then right next to Chris McCauley, I have fucking Robbie Bland.
Howdy, I am fucking Robbie Bland.
Yes, I'm fucking Robbie Bland right now. I'm fucking Robbie Bland in the ass right now.
It's really disgusting, actually.
So
Don't say that word.
today, we got a special show for you. You know we got this cooked up, this heated up. We're gonna pump out a fast 30-minute podcast today. You won't have an hour to digest. You have 30 minutes to digest, around 30 minutes to digest this masterpiece. So we're gonna kick it off with the first topic today. Are you guys pumped?
I'm pumped.
Okay, don't scream into that shit.
I'm pumped.
Okay.
I'm feeling good.
Robbie's feeling good after I just ass raped him.
Shut the fuck up.
Okay.
These two are chimps.
Our first topic today is going to be art. Now, this is super general, right? Art specifically, and not millennials. What's our generation called? Generation Z? Is that what it is?
Yeah, that's us.
And how everybody and their fucking mom has a SoundCloud and think they have a right to make. Well, they do have a right to make art, but don't say anything right now because I will explain myself.
If you looked at the face that Robbie's making, because our lovely handsome host is he's got a SoundCloud of his own. If you guys want to go check that out.
Okay, I've got a SoundCloud.
Follow Ike Waya on SoundCloud and see who Caleb is talking about. Prime example.
Okay, I've got a SoundCloud, right? I'm chewing an apple right now.
And what's with all these damn Generation Z kids starting a fucking podcast with their friends?
None of those will ever be good.
Okay,
terrible.
I just want to say, I started a podcast, and then ever since I started this podcast, almost like 7 other people that I know started their own little shitty podcast.
They started their rival podcast to defeat our own.
And
there's no fucking beating the Spaz Out podcast.
Yeah, there's no beating the Spaz Out one because I made it. You know.
No, it's because I'm in it.
Oh, okay. No, yeah, that's right.
It's because I get interrupted in it, so you know. All right, so
wait, what'd you say, Chris?
But we're talking about art. We're talking about how everybody and their mother likes art and how everybody wants to make art. So I'm gonna throw this over to Caleb because I feel like you're one of the most passionate about this subject. To you, what is art?
What is art? See, art is an expression of self to me, right? So literally almost anything you could do could be art, right? If you're good at something, don't do it for free is what I mean.
That's the Joker said that, Caleb.
No, that's not true.
That's a Joker quote.
No, he's not the first one to. He's not the first one to say that. You're fucking retarded if you think the Joker's the first one to say that. It's definitely been a thing for.
I'm not saying he's the first one. I'm just saying that Joker quote.
Oh well, everybody says that. Is what I'm saying.
Gotcha.
So if you're good at something, don't do it for free. So a lot of people want to be famous or don't really kind of grasp that. I know everything I'm saying applies to me as well, but
it won't apply to you when you make it big, okay? But before then, it still applies to you.
I'm saying like the mindset of what's happening right now. Everybody wants to be famous, but they don't truly grasp why or what. They see idols and they just want to be like them, like subconsciously. You know what I'm saying? And they just want to do it. They don't know why. They just want to do it. It's a different case for me. I know it's like, oh, I'm unique. I'm different than everybody else. But you
don't understand me, Mom. I'm different than the other kids.
It's like, how do I fucking say this? It's different because I know that's what I want to do for the rest of my life. I know that this is like my feeling of importance. We're like what I need to do is what I'm good at.
Sex and attention. Those are Caleb's feelings of importance. If you need the recap on that, listen to episode 2.
Good callback.
I'm full of them. I keep count.
So basically, what I'm saying is, a lot of people will make art for no reason, and so it doesn't make it good. It's still art, but it's not good. I know a lot of kids make a SoundCloud. I made a SoundCloud, but for a specific purpose. I'm a little bit. I can explain to you why it's not really active, and really it's because I'm lazy and I'm scared.
Oh, hey, honest hour.
Yeah.
I'm proud of you.
Real man hours. Oh boy.
And it takes a real man to say that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I got you.
I'm lazy and I'm scared. But a lot of people will put out shit knowing that it's shit, and I never I wanted to want to do that. And although even if you try your hardest, you could still put out shit. At least you're trying, you know what I'm saying? But a lot of people will do this without trying or not even really knowing what they're doing. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, so what you're saying is good art is art that has a purpose and an intention to it.
Yes.
That's a lot of art.
Okay, but one thing I'll say, and I think that's a problem with people nowadays, is they're claiming that their art doesn't have a purpose, and that's what gives it meaning. They're saying, like, I can just do whatever I want. I can throw something out there. Let me just throw my feelings out onto a piece of paper or into a soundtrack, and then that's art.
You see that
throwing your feelings into something kind of is a purpose and an intention.
That's a little bit
But
ironic.
what you're hinting at there is postmodernism, where the purpose of the art is to have no purpose and to just break the rules of art.
Yes, that's exactly what I'm saying.
So one of my favorite rappers of all time, Andre 3000, did this little. Everyone has dabbled in that idea, right? But Andre 3000, I think, in my opinion, is one of the best to do it. Fuck, I forgot the song. It was I forgot it. But basically the he had a couple voices, not in his head, but like personalities that he was messing around with, and then so he's just like, fuck it, I'll make up a song right here, and then he just basically did it, and then the other voices are like, oh, this is garbage, oh, that's kind of cool, I like it, and then he just kept going with it. He's like ABC 1 2 3 do re mi. It like doesn't fucking matter because what he's saying means nothing. You know what I'm saying?
It sounds like there might have been some kind of artistic intention there, though, having different voices and a kind of storyline to it, at least the way you're describing it.
That's what I'm saying.
So that even then, I don't know if that fully.
Now that's an example of a perfect way to approach it. I still don't know. I forgot the name of the song, and it's making me look like a retard.
But you see, what I'm thinking of when I think of like postmodernism, I'm thinking of just putting your used toilet in the museum and calling it art, which is what people have done. Just hey, I used this thing. Now here, it's art. That's
like that one painting that was like a 9x9 square of the color blue, and it sold for like multiple thousands of dollars.
Yeah.
Now that's true art.
Just the H3H3 modern art video.
Exactly that.
So what was I even getting at here? What was I even fucking talking about?
We were talking about how I was talking about how nowadays people are doing art and they have no purpose, and they claim that that's why it's art in itself, but some people will do things that are seemingly random, but they have some kind of artistic purpose, and that's what you said your guy was doing.
So here's what I'm thinking, right? And now what I just said could be said for a lot of things. Like, most art has a purpose. Like, I mean, of course, everything has like motivation behind it. So if like a kid downloads a trap beat off the internet and then raps some like actual bullshit, that still had motivation and that still had a purpose, right? But I guess what makes art good is the execution of that purpose. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah. So like some people can have like excellent purpose, but actually just be awful. Like, for example, what if you're like dating some person and you're like, I'm going to serenade them, but you sound like a dying walrus when you sing? It's not going to work. It's the thought
that might work.
It's the thought that counts, but execution definitely matters. And right now there's a pretty big lack of execution nowadays.
Mm-hmm. So like, again, with like the trap beat example or whatever, or like the trap like kid rapper, if his purpose is to, let's say, like they rap about money, sex, drugs, whatever.
Nobody can touch my swag. Nobody can do with
Goodbye to the people who hated on me. Goodbye to everybody.
If that purpose is to make somebody dance or like to be entertainment, and it's not executed as entertainment because it sounds bad, then it's not executed right and it's bad art, is what I'm saying. Now,
okay, so at what point does the execution become good and we can consider it good art?
That's a really shitty line to draw.
It's a very subjective and opinionated thing, I think. Because Look at The Room. That is to some that's a work of art right there, and to other people that is just a huge pile of shit.
It's really shit.
But
it's really shit, but it's so good.
If the rules are intention and execution, The Room had an intention, but it failed terribly in its execution. But yet it has this crazy cult following, and has even gotten, an Oscar-nominated movie. So
I know, and there's outliers like that, but I think the reason why that is so because it's funny to me. It's not good. It's not a good movie by any means, and it's not a good movie to anyone. You see what I'm saying? But it is so funny because it is so bad.
I've always understood it's just you can see the intention behind it, but it's just so poorly made that you can't help but kind of laugh at it.
That's why it's funny.
Versus people who intentionally make bad things.
So when I say that's a work of art, I'm talking about like that shows like the intention and like the extremes of like how fucking retarded someone can be.
Okay, so if we want to go back to like the kid rappers example, they fail because they're just making something just to make something, and because it's also bad.
But it's not even laughable.
If they have that intention to make something good, but they make it bad, by accident, it can still be entertaining.
There's cringy, and then there's cringy funny.
Entertaining, like the Minecraft parody songs.
Yeah.
Well, I would say that those are borderline cringy. I wouldn't go as far enough to say that the Minecraft parodies are cringe funny. Sometimes it's just it's funny only because
they're
it's
funny
really
to Robbie.
sad.
They're funny to Robbie and no one else.
Yeah, and Kobe. Robbie and Kobe can go sing their Minecraft.
Kobe's
style.
my little brother, by the way.
Minecraft style. You want to sing some parodies for us?
Dude, I used to listen to all the Gangnam Style parodies all the time. I was entertained by it.
Gangnam Style.
Yeah.
Gangnam
Style. Speaking of which, I'll throw this in there. So, what do you think of something like Gangnam Style, Gangnam Style?
The fuck you just say?
Gangnam Style. Like when that song came out, it went viral, but people had no idea what it was saying. It wasn't in English, and yet this is where it had the largest following.
Okay. So here, that's a good, actually a good example because I think its intention was definitely to be a dance song,
Definitely.
and I thought the production was good.
Mm-hmm.
It may be cringy a little bit. It may be a
Yeah,
little
just
bit
a little
cringy.
bit.
Maybe a little bit cringy, but it wasn't a bad dance song.
Sexy lady.
Definitely didn't deserve all the attention it got. Maybe. I think honestly it deserves like 20,000 views.
20,000 views. Okay, I wouldn't take it that far. I think Gangnam Style was better than that because at least it was like a good like pop dance song, but not the billion that it got or something like that.
It was crazy, but
it was. I don't think it was
a
ever
good dance song.
Yeah, like you're saying,
song.
it was just made to be a dance song, and it succeeded in almost every way in being a dance song. But we can kind of redirect there to like the Harlem Shake. Which
no, that was meant to be shit.
It was,
and people accepted it as not shit.
You know, here's the thing. I don't think it was meant to be like good. Or
it wasn't.
I'm sorry,
it wasn't.
My fault. I said that backwards. I don't think it was meant to be that bad. I think it was actually meant to be like.
It was meant to be a joke.
But people didn't people didn't treat it as a joke.
I know, which was really funny in my opinion. And became really cancer.
Filthy Frank made the Harlem Shake into a joke, and people still don't credit him enough for that today.
If I'm going to be honest, I didn't even know Filthy Frank was responsible for the Harlem Shake, so that's how much not credit that he's gotten.
No, he did it. He did it with his pink guy suit and some of his friends in like their apartment. But anyways, that was intended to be just a joke on his show. Listen to this goofy song, and they're doing a dumbass dance.
This goofy song.
And then it became,
Why are you using the word goofy? Are you trying to censor yourself?
I say the word goofy all the damn time, dude. Fuck you.
Okay,
I'll fucking censor myself when I want to.
Don't say that word. We're almost at our word cap for the episode.
I don't know. What
I
that
gotta
just sounded
censor
like.
that out, Robbie. You can't say that on the show. What about the brand deals?
What about our Zoomies brand deal?
Sponsored by, never mind, probably not. Okay, so slight derailment. So I'm going to throw in like another portion of this art discussion. So we've already talked about it's hard to draw the line between what's good art and what's bad art because that's really subjective. And what people's main objective is for art now, which is just to throw something out there. At least that's what it seems like to me. So if you could harken back to a time when you think art was in its prime, when was that? Is that right now, or was that like 80s, the 90s?
That's when it's
That's
okay,
extremely subjective.
I know it's subjective. Art's
That's
subjective.
why I'm asking. That's why
Okay.
I'm asking him. I know this is subjective,
So-
but I want to see what you guys both think.
In my opinion, whenever art was in its prime or whatever, is when it's hard to execute to gain attention because there's no social media to just spam fucking SoundCloud links on. You know what I'm saying? So I'd say like, if I was going like 70s or 60s or whatever, if people got famous, that means probably they're good. Probably I talk like an idiot. I talk like an actual idiot. Probably they're good at what they do, and they're probably fuck. They're probably good at. I don't know what I'm saying.
They're good at
know
sucking
what I'm
dick and
saying.
getting their fucking music played everywhere.
Okay, these two are chimping out. I'll answer.
I'm chimping out. I'm the only one chimping out right now.
Okay, so if I had to pinpoint a time where I think art was in its prime, let's see. I don't really know. Because there's a lot of good stuff from a bunch of different time periods, but when we think art, I think most people, and I think the direction we've led this conversation is that we've most definitely categorized art as like music for the most part, but I think that like the best art to me probably came in like the between the 50s and the 80s is what I want to say.
I just blew my nose. I just blew my nose, and there's the biggest snot rocket that just came out, and I just showed it to Chris, and he just kept talking.
Yeah, I'm trying to ignore the chimphood that's happening in this room. So the reason why I'm going to argue that it's between the 50s and the 80s is because this was the time period after the both world wars, so postmodernism kicked into full effect, and I think that that's really the time when cynicism and irony pretty much picked up like for good. So I personally enjoy that style of art, so that's why I think that that's the best time period for art, just because that's when like postmodernism, cynicism, and irony popped up, and I think those are like key ways of expressing yourself nowadays. So I'm interested to see what you two think.
You guys like the Japanese?
Logang!
I think we should have used more than 2 nukes on Japan, honestly.
Jesus fucking
Good
Christ.
God, you're actually okay. What do you think of the Japanese, Caleb?
I think they're weird as fuck, and I love it. Like, they probably wouldn't like me, but I just like.
They'd see you as Logan Paul 2.0. They'd fucking kill you.
I just like looking at what they make, and I'm like, wow, that's pretty fucking.
Yeah, I know
retarded.
you like looking at what they make. You watch hentai. We know. We know you like looking at what they make.
Who says I watch hentai?
You don't have to tell us. We know.
I only watch American-made hentai.
No, he doesn't watch hentai. He watches Asian women get fucked on fucking Pornhub or some shit.
What?
Guys, what should I masturbate to today? Asians or Asians?
Don't make us.
Oh, I made a joke. Okay, I made a little joke. Ha, 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 ha.
Roasting him live. You want
How's
to?
that roasting? I just made a joke like, oh, should I masturbate to Asians, 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 or Asians? That's all I said. It wasn't even funny, but you brought it up on the podcast.
No, it wasn't funny.
Then why did you bring it up?
Because modern art isn't funny. It's just there to be there, Caleb.
This is fucking stupid.
You just got. I turned it around on you. You've just been exposed.
This is stupid.
Caleb is getting mad after blowing his nose into a rag and trying to
hey,
wipe it on Chris.
Y'all are talking
twice.
too loud. Y'all are talking way too fucking loud right now. Shh. Y'all need to calm the fuck down.
All right. Well, neither of you are contributing as much anymore to the art discussion. So what is this? What's happening?
What are you fucking talking about? I was just talking about art.
What?
I'm gonna shit on your face.
This is disgusting. I'm in a room with 2 chimpanzees trying to record a podcast. Robbie, bring some civility back to this, please.
Okay, I've been kind of skipped over a lot here because Caleb keeps trying to change the subject. But
About what?
if we can go back to when the best time period in art is, I'm going to be frank here and say I don't really believe there is one, but I think
You
honestly,
fucking pussy.
honestly, the best times in art have been the times when people are at war with each other for some reason. Like, if we're being honest here, as Chris was saying, like right after World War II, honestly, it's something about war that brings out a lot of art in people. So,
What was Hitler art?
I mean, Hitler
camps
certainly inspired a lot of art.
Were the camps art? Wow, I didn't know you
So
like World War II, Robbie. I
these
didn't
are
know you
not-
like. I
these are
didn't know
not
you were
the-
a fan of World War II.
That's not really the point that Robbie was making, and that wasn't the point that I was making either. So, like, for example, the reason why I think the 50s through the 80s is the best time period for art, I'm not really considering music. I'm approaching this from, like, a novelist lens because of all the terrible stuff that happened after World Wars I and II. We had some of the greatest authors of all time who pretty much arose after that time period. They were shaped and defined by that time.
Like Dr. Seuss.
Yeah, like Shakespeare, right?
I hate
like
both of you. You're both awful.
You don't like Dr. Seuss?
No, that's not what I
Wait,
said.
you don't like Dr. Seuss? He said it. He said he doesn't like Dr. Seuss.
You heard it live.
Caleb needs to be gagged for like 5
Y'all
minutes.
talk too
Caleb, you're
loud.
being muted. Caleb, you're being muted.
No, hell no.
Okay, but anyways, because that's the time when postmodernism, cynicism, and irony became like prime ways to express yourself. That's why I think like artists was so good at that time period because it was a brand new emerging style. You've still not said anything about when the best time period of art is, Mr.
I told you like.
Mr. Waya.
I told you like.
When?
Like 70s, 60s.
No, you didn't say that.
I did say that.
When?
Check the replay.
Prove it.
Check the instant replay.
I'm so sorry to all of our listeners.
What a. Why are you sorry?
This is. Oh my god.
What do you mean? What do you literally said that you were chimping out on podcast.
Okay, I chimped out one time.
You did not chimp out one time. You just tried to put your snot on me like 5 minutes ago. You were definitely still chimping out.
Okay, maybe I'm still chimping out.
Yeah.
Maybe it's that Xanax I took.
Don't do drugs, kids.
I took some Xanax. You know that?
Okay.
I took some Mucinex earlier. Is that the same thing?
No. Oh, you want to hear a story?
Yeah, story time. All right, we've officially shifted from art, and we're now on to the
Back-
Spaz Out story time show.
Back whenever I was a kid, I got caught smoking a cigarette. And so my dad caught me, and so he made me smoke a whole cigar. And then I was like, this is sick or whatever. And then earlier I was smoking weed with my friend, and then he made me he caught me, and then he made me do crystal meth.
Oh,
So
okay,
now
this
I'm fucked up.
was a stand-up bit. I got it. I was like, I've never heard of this story
Wait,
before where Caleb smoked a cigar. So, okay,
A stand-up bit. What the fuck are you talking about?
you're
How's this?
you're doing like a little stand-up story here. The punchline is, oh, crystal
that's
meth,
for
and
real.
it's gonna get worse. The drugs are gonna get worse
No,
and worse.
I'm serious.
No, you're not serious.
No, I'm serious.
Caleb, as both of us know you pretty well in real life.
Yeah, that's not true.
No, I'm serious.
You like despise drugs, and anytime you meet someone who does,
I love
drugs,
crystal meth.
You have a lot to say about them.
I love
so.
crystal meth.
Yeah,
But-
this episode you do, based on the way you've talked.
Let's bring this back to the art discussion, and let's say
Crystal meth is art.
a lot of artists use and abuse drugs. A lot of popular artists.
Yeah.
So what?
Drugs is like definitely a huge story for another time, but I definitely agree with Robbie. Like, there's a huge drug culture, and people think that I'm my best self whenever I'm on drugs. Which, do you agree with that? Disagree with that? Because a lot of people are like, all right, well, I'm gonna write music, so I'm gonna go get high so that I can.
A lot of people are really boring, and they can't do that sober, and so they need to do drugs to do it.
I guess that's a fair point. A lot of people do argue that point when they argue for drug use trying to make art.
China?
And like the way they justify it is, it's not about the means to the end, it's about the end. And if in order to get to that end you must drugs, get high, do whatever, and then do your art, they argue that that's fine. Why should you judge them for that? Because it's just about the art that they produce.
I guess.
And this is almost universal across a lot of art fields, from acting to music to even just like fucking drawing shit. And what other kind of arts are there? Fucking music. Yeah, music.
Everything.
So
Everything
yeah,
is art.
so it's pretty rampant that people.
Twitter is art. Twitter is art.
Absolutely not. Twitter is...
My Twitter is art.
Okay.
Oh.
Comedy is an art form, and Caleb wants to be a comedian, and Twitter is one of his platforms to make comedy. So I would not say Twitter is art, but I would say maybe
Twitter's art.
maybe some tweets can be considered part of an art piece in that they are this written out form of a joke there. But I guess that's a nice way to branch into memes, and how do memes fit into art? Is a meme art?
A meme is a joke.
A meme is a joke, but I feel like memes are by and large like postmodernist. They're very.
I hate that word so much.
Memes?
Yeah.
Yeah, we've already talked about this. Harken back to other episodes where we talk about why meme is a bad word and Robbie is a bad person for talking about memes.
Oh no,
Not
Robbie,
a bad
no.
person.
Robbie
I
says
love
shit like
memes.
you're not a dank memer if you did. My dank memes.
Instagram meme,
Like,
Facebook
Instagram-
meme.
No, he saves memes off of fucking Facebook. That's how you know.
And Twitter.
No.
I do both.
Nah.
My folders for Facebook and Twitter memes are pretty.
You can't
can't-
do both.
You can't.
I do
redeem
both.
yourself.
I'm a man who lives on both sides.
Okay, now
You
that's
can't
definitely
redeem
too
yourself
loud.
after that. Is what I'm saying.
Okay, but back to what I was saying. So memes, by and large, are a product of, I guess, the new culture because memes are supposed to be ironic or
Yeah.
they're supposed to be cynical in some cases.
Yeah.
So like,
They're usually ironic jokes based off of popular cult culture.
So you take.
I can't talk, dude.
So you, but that was a good point. You just can't speak. But
my
that
tongue
was
is too
good.
fucking fat in my mouth.
Memes are right now, at least, ironic jokes based off of popular culture, or it's like directly making fun of popular elements of popular culture. So, to me, I think that does make memes art, but that's just so gross to say. Memes are art. Go look at
Yeah.
my meme art gallery.
That sounds like something Robbie would say.
That is something that Robbie does actively. Go check out the Robbie Meme Art Museum next week.
That's fucking gross.
Never said that. I've never called any memes that I post art. I'm just trying to contribute.
I did not have sexual relations with that woman.
This is slander.
Robbie will
and
never have sexual
plagiarism.
relations with any woman.
Until marriage.
No.
Yes, after I get married. Yes.
Why? What is wrong? Why was that? Okay. Well, this conversation has fallen off the tracks, off the cliff, into the ocean. We just got slammed. Is there anything else you want to say before we wrap this spaz out sound bite?
I want to say that
Is pornography art? Because honestly, there's
Yes.
there's a lot of porn.
Yes,
in
it
art.
is.
So
yes, it is. It's really, really bad. Most of it, but it's art.
okay. And what makes it art?
Its intention is being sexy. It's good at it. It's art.
I guess that.
I mean, it's hard to argue with such like a broad definition of art because pretty much anything can be considered art. Is eSports an art?
I already said that. No,
Are video games an art?
they're not. Well, yeah,
Yeah.
Video games are,
So
but
is
not like
so is professionally playing one.
sports are not art. Sports are not art because they don't express themselves.
So what's the difference then? That's a pretty clear distinction.
mean?
What's the difference between a sport and an art? Because the definition of art we had was really vague.
No, my definition of art is self-expression.
Okay,
If
and
you're
what
not-
if someone's self-expression is running?
That's fucking retarded.
I'm serious, but okay, and what if someone's self-expression is memes? That's also retarded.
Yeah, no, but memes.
If
Meme,
your
you're making a joke.
self-expression is running, you're a fucking loser.
No, that's not what I'm
Don't
saying.
go to college.
That's not. You can't express yourself running. You're just. I mean, I guess you can express that your physique, like your body, is art.
Yeah,
but
like
your
the whole my body is a temple. Not
Yeah.
just that.
Isn't that what porn is?
which.
Yeah, like it's showing off bodies.
Okay, let me finish.
Okay, so the point I'm trying to make is why is pornography an art, but sports
I mean,
aren't?
sports really kind of can't be. I mean, you can't really express yourself in sports. You can express maybe your physique, but then why wouldn't you just do bodybuilding if you're trying to express your physique? You're just
Is bodybuilding an
you're
art?
just playing it. Yes, but you're just if you're like say you're playing football, you're just playing a game. You're not trying to express yourself.
Okay, so
if you're
what-
bodybuilding,
so-
you're trying to show off your body.
So what? So here's my distinction. Just because my form of art for like the majority of my life was acting. So what if someone like on stage they don't have a big part in the play, but they have to run across the background? Is that art?
well, that's
They're
contributing-
acting, but they're
contributing to the art piece.
so.
So them running is not specifically art, but it's contributing.
So,
contributing.
in
to
which
art.
case-
so running isn't an art, but like a marathon is an art, or like a triathlon is an art because they're smaller
Not-
pieces of a bigger thing that's supposed to be better than the one person. Is
Well, it
that?
depends on what they stand for. Well, like
So like a
technically the Olympics-
triathlon, let's say like a triathlon to raise money for breast cancer. Like they're working towards a bigger goal and they're trying to make something better. Is that art?
I really don't think that is.
Caleb is Google
Googling
searching the definition of art right
definition
now.
of art.
But I would like to take a moment to speak now after Chris and Caleb got into that. I think the argument here is, what is the competition, the sport, is that an art? And you could say, I think...
Okay. The expression or application of human creative skill and imagination. Typically in a visual form such as painting or sculpture, producing works to be appreciated primarily for the beauty or for their beauty or emotional power. So whenever I'm saying art is saying skill and imagination, right?
That's kind of what a little bit of sports is
so
in playing a sport.
Sports can be technically a skill, right? So that can technically be art, but that's not what I'm saying. Like a primary form of art is expression of imagination or expression of yourself. And I mean, you can express your skill or whatever, but to me, that's not a primary form of art.
Because you know how people make, like, I don't know if it's ironic or if it's serious. They're like, oh, the way that guy shoots a 3, he makes it look like it's art because it's a really practiced and beautiful shot.
Which
You see what I'm saying?
I guess technically, yeah, but I wouldn't consider that expression. You know what I'm
so
saying?
I think the real thing
or
here
emotion behind that.
is art that is made for competition, is that still art?
Yes.
When art is being competed against art, is it all still art?
Okay.
Is the competition art?
Yes, technically, but I'm saying I wouldn't consider that primary sources of art.
So we have primary and secondary art.
I mean, I agree with
would
you.
say
Like,
that.
like
I would
you
say
like
there's
football,
primary-
like American football. I don't think that's art, but I think that people will argue that like something
I
that
think
someone does is
technically-
artful.
I think that's technically art, is like games or competitions or whatever. But I'm saying that is not like a primary thing. If I were to, I would put little, I guess, tiers of art, and I'd be like, okay, painting, theater, stuff like that. That's like pure expression.
Okay, but
pure whatever. Like
here's like
theater,
theater,
imagination,
acting, and just that physical motion of everything. Sports is not really all that different than like dancing and other stuff. It's doing these
Which I
sets
wouldn't
of moves in a competition against
Which I
someone
wouldn't
else.
put that as primary. Well, interpretive dancing is different, but just like dancing to dance, just showing off your skill of dancing, or like cheerleading or something
Okay,
like
so
that. That's different, and I would put that way lower.
So Caleb's distinction is the intention. So like sport isn't being done to be art, but some of the things that you do in sport can be artful. Whereas if you're an
Yes.
actor or if you're a musician or a painter or a sculptor, an architect, then
There's different
you're doing
levels.
things. You're doing art for the sake of art.
Mm-hmm.
Does that make sense? So if you're an artist, you're doing art for the sake of art. If you can do things that are not intended to be art, but they can still be artful.
Mm-hmm.
okay, so here's an extra layer here.
Okay.
My sister right now went to.
is gay.
She might be, but she's in the VASE program, which is kind of an art competition at the school. Right now, her art won an award and is going to state. Her art is made to compete against other art.
Yeah.
So, and she's a painter. Her art is a painting.
Okay, so
Is her art still
I see where
art?
this is
It was
going.
not made purely
see-
for self-expression.
I see where it's going.
It was made under this
But-
pressure to make a piece of art for a
Yes,
competition.
Yes,
But
but okay, see, that's different
agree.
because a competition itself is based on like painting or whatever, which is like how else can you be good at painting without expressing yourself? Like how else can you show off that? I mean, you can make the most detailed painting and like make it look like a photograph or whatever, right? But that's not like the root. I'm pretty sure that shit is not what wins. You see what I'm saying? It's the shit that's like, oh wow, that was real, and that spoke to me, and there's emotion behind
and that's
that.
why her art won, is because it had this powerful. Her art was called Stress, and it was this woman who's kind of surrounded by this like black cloud that's kind of overcoming her. Beautiful piece that she made,
Because
and it won because
it's
it has this kind of power to it. Just looking at it, it's a powerful image. I'll say, and that's not just because she's my sister.
Yeah,
so.
because like you know, fuck. The competition is not like to create like a most like photograph type piece, like skillful wise. It's your skill of expression and your skill of like twisting and creating that emotion.
All right. And so then in a sport, it's more about the technical aspects of being able to do this, that, and the other, and less about having this artful intent to express yourself.
Which is why it's still considered art, but it's not like up there with theater and painting and shit
It's
like that.
technical art.
Yeah, it's technical art.
Yeah, but it's art by technicality, but not art by execution.
I've been saying that.
It's not art
Yeah.
for art's sake. All right,
And that is all the time we have today for this Spaz Out episode.
was damn
Thank you.
good.
That was good. That was a good conversation, you guys. Great fucking job.
It took
My
a
name
lot
is
of
Caleb
work
King.
to get there.
My name is Caleb King,
And my name is Chris McCauley.
and I'm fucking
Robbie Bland.
Good night, or good morning, whatever you're listening to this the day of.
All right. Thank you guys. Love y'all.